something that should be noted about this movie. One of the producers also did Love, Simon and The Hate You Give. That should be your indication of how good this is. I mean that genuinely. Hi everyone, it's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Hello. We're here to talk about a movie. Movies and TV is what we do here. But before we begin, I just want to mention the Stranger Things. I've seen all of Volume 1 now. Here's the thing. We're going to talk a little bit about it on the podcast this week. I kind of want to wait to give it a full review until Volume 2 comes out. I want to wait till July. So it's not canceled. It's just delayed. I promise you we will get a Stranger Things 4 review. Cool? Cool. Alright. That being said, hi everyone. It's me, Grant the Movie and TV Guy. We're going to talk about a movie today. Movies and TV, that's what we do here. And that movie is Emergency. This film was released in select theaters last weekend. It premiered on Amazon Prime this weekend, and that's where I saw it. So, Emergency is directed by Carrie Williams and written by K.D. Davila? I hope I'm saying your name correctly, because I want to credit the writer as well. Based on their 2018 short film, which I have not seen, but I genuinely want to see it now. I believe it's on YouTube. The film is let's just get going. So who else is involved? So the film is set on a college campus, primarily over one night. It stars R.J. Cyler, Sebastian Chacon, and Donald Elise Watkins. Now, Mr. Watkins in particular, I want to single out. So these three actors are phenomenal, and they play Sean, Carlos, and Kunle, and they are three college roommates and friends. They live on a house off campus, on campus housing. One night, Sean tells his buddy Kunle that they are going to go. They're about to graduate college. We're going to go to basically the pub crawl of college parties. 7 parties in one night. It's called like the epic run. Kunle, who is very book smart, is going to Princeton very soon to finish his studies. Sean is quick, smart, but he doesn't seem to be applying himself as well as his buddy, which becomes a source of tension between the two of them because Kunle wants what's best for Sean. He goes to look after his this fungi he's growing for his final. He goes to lock the freezer where he's keeping them before they go to the party. He seems to forget. When he returns to their house, he finds a intoxicated young woman passed out in their living room. Her name is Emma. She's played by Maddie Nichols. And being that she's a white girl, and Sean and Kunle are young black men, and their friend Carlos, who they get out of his gaming zone to ask him about this, is Hispanic. They freak out. They absolutely freak out, understandably. Kunle, being the responsible one himself, knows that if she's passed out, she might be drugged, something might be horribly happening. He wants to call 911. Sean says, let's just take her to the hospital. He goes, why? Because if we call 911, they could call the police and they're going to shoot us. And so he goes, okay. As dark as that premise sounds, it starts out kind of like a comedy. And basically, as they're trying to get her to the hospital, various things keep them from it, including Emma's sister, Maddie, played by Sabrina Carpenter, who goes on a mission of her own with her own friends to try to rescue her sister, believing that these men are kidnapping her. And misunderstandings upon misunderstandings pile up as they try to get Emma to the hospital in time to save her life. And it's very tense. Yeah, let the mayhem begin. So Emergency is great. Emergency has one of the best screenplays of 2022 so far. It's right up there with On the Count of Three. And what I love about this movie, similar to On the Count of Three, is it finds a way to take dark subject matter such as racism, police brutality, the sort of light racism of quote unquote, the inherent racism in people who, as the get out sense of, I voted for Obama, would have voted for Obama third time, that kind of thing. There's some very telling satirical bullet points that they hit that are really sharp. For instance, early on in the movie, there's a professor who's giving a lecture about the N-word, and she's a white English professor, who is repeatedly saying it, and the two have different viewpoints about how it's being used in that context, which was very interesting. There's another scene where they go to a house where this older couple immediately believes that they're trying to sell them drugs, and seemingly is reaching for the phone, and then when the Sabrina Carpenter character comes up, very tellingly, there's a Black Lives Matter sign out front, and it's like a older white couple. Those elements really work on the outside of it, but what makes Emergency really special is that it does get serious, like On the Count of Three did, and like On the Count of Three, it doesn't ruin the tone. It doesn't obliterate its own tone. It finds a perfect balance. It's still being humorous as it gets darker, and it's still having stakes when it's trying to be a romp. It still has emotional weight to it. This is a great movie with 3 phenomenal performances, and one in particular I think is one of the best I've seen all year. Donald Elise Watkins as Kunle. What a phenomenal young actor. I don't think I've ever seen him in a movie before, at least not a leading role. He is excellent in this movie. If it were up to me right now, he'd be my front runner for, if not the Oscar, at least the Independent Spirit for Best Actor. He is so good in this movie. Especially in the third act, when the plot, as it is, kind of calms down into a more serious gear, and he gives this kind of monologue about a trauma that has happened to him that is heartbreaking. If you don't feel something, you're probably not human. Like, it's so raw and so well acted, and it all comes down to his performance, and he's phenomenal. And the amazing screenplay. Look, I loved Emergency. This is one of the best films I've seen all year. It's a plot that on paper shouldn't work, and yet, like On the Count of Three, and yet it really does. And everyone should see this, whether in theaters or here on Amazon Prime. And I'm going to give not On the Count of Three, we already reviewed On the Count of Three. Emergency, you see it. Bang, 5 out of 5 stars, guys. Wow. We're not even at the midpoint yet, and I think that I've given 30 movies, this is an uncommonly good year, and I'm not the only one who thinks so, first half of the year. Alright. In a normal year, pre-pandemic, this would be there maybe be 5 or 6 good movies. This is insane. Alright. So yeah, 5 stars for Emergency, let's close the book on it. Trailer Trash, none. Watched on Amazon Prime. Was there shawarma? Yes, there was. There was a scene during the credits, a nice little bow on the movie. Worth sticking around for. Alright, that's it. We will be back. Let's see, when will we be back next? It's going to be kind of a slow week next week. But we will be back Thursday night for Watcher. We're talking about that one, starring Micah Monroe. This looks very weirdly a lot like It Follows from the trailer. I don't mind. And it's another movie like Emergency that I could have seen at Sundance, but I just didn't have enough. I'd reached my max limit of tickets, so I'm glad I get to catch up with those. And then Fire Island on Hulu, as well as Hollywood Stargirl on Disney+. We will also be, after that, we will be checking out Hustle, starring Adam Sandler and Queen Latifah. We will also be talking on June 9th about Jurassic World Dominion. And then we also got coming up Father of the Bride, Lightyear, Cha-Cha Real Smooth, Spiderhead, directed by Top Gun Maverick's Joseph Kosinski. Is there anything else? I think there were a couple more in there somewhere. But yeah, all that stuff. Jerry and Marge Go Large. There was one more, I can't for the life of me think of it right now. Alright. But all that stuff. So we will, and then, Stranger Things, all that stuff. That'll all be next time, and until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all, and I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you, Class Dismissed. I love you 3000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know what it does, but that's supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. If you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, lists, and other fun stuff, you can check me out on Letterboxd.com at Raised on Popcorn with Grant. As well as my podcast, Raised on Popcorn with Grant, the podcast, on Spotify and Anchor. Some of you already have. But even if you haven't, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important. Now, I want to know, down below, what did you think of Emergency? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion's good? Do you think I'm full of shit? Comment below, let me know. Until we meet again, we were all raised on popcorn. Make mine with extra butter. Catch you guys next time. Take care.